boy Rush. I'm in the building, holding it down, promoting my side hustle, Rush Enterprise. If you're in the state of New Jersey, you know what I mean? You need armed guards or unarmed guards, just give me a call on my business line and I'll line it up. Today I got a few special guests with me. We're gonna have some grown folks talk right now, you know what I mean? So you know what I mean? We gonna get it in, man. Salute to y'all, man. How y'all doing?
Doing pretty good. What's up?
Yo, what up, Cresto? How yo? Word, man. It's your boy.
Sorry, I had to unmute myself. I
Word,
keep
word.
forgetting to do that.
Man, thanks for coming through, y'all.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Where yeah, today we're gonna expound on a few political issues that's popping. Well, not issues, but few political topics. The first one is do y'all think people are starting to wake up from the being intoxicated with the Democratic Party? Because Eric Adams, right? He's trying to get reelected as a independent instead of being a part of the Democratic Party. Like, is people waking up and waking up for the okie doke? Y'all talk to me.
Rush, unfortunately, you did ask me to join the panel, so I'm going to join. I'll get on camera in a minute. He's not going to secure the Democratic nomination. I don't know if you've seen the current state of the DNC right now. Did you see their vice chair? What is it? The vice chair? Did you see their vice chair nomination? And how they got that little goofy young boy to be the vice chairman? They are really setting up the next presumptive nominee to either be that white boy. He'd be too young, so I'm sorry, not him, but it'll be either Jasmine Crockett and AOC on the ticket. They don't want a strong black man to be a part of or to represent the DNC. That's not their fan base. That's not their constituency. Their constituency are, troons and individuals who believe in feminism. The do funny is like do funnies. It's not the image of a strong black man, So Eric Adams is still a strong black man, even though he's the most photo op mayor in New York history. But he still represents something that the Democratic establishment does not want to be represented as. Remember, a lot of the Democratic Party consists of the white woman who has a white savior complex. So seeing a black man as a real black man, not a fake black man like Barack Obama, he wasn't a real black man. He was a tether, respectfully, and half white. But the bell pepper dark-skinned black man, the bell pepper nose dark-skinned black man, that's supposed to represent being downtrodden and oppressed. So that doesn't look right if that image is the lead of the Democratic Party. So no, so it's best that he does go independent. His leaving the Democratic Party sets a tone for possibly more people to vote on the Republican side. Well, it definitely takes away Democratic votes. And I would even argue this. Him leaving the Democratic Party, you might see New York City turn red for the first time, I think, since 1988 or something. So yeah, it's very interesting. We live in incredible times right now. Incredible damn times, Rush.
What about you, Stan? What you got a rebuttal for that, Stan?
No, I agree with him. When you say it's an incredible time, it is, because it leaves it open for nobody, also for Republicans. People are disappointed in them. People are disappointed in Democrats. I think the independent might have a chance to grow from this. And if they do, it's like we'll live in a place where we have 3 parties to vote for in the future. So if you're doing politics, you got to do it right, because people are tired.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things, man. Like I catch 22 when it comes to politics, because now everybody's gonna have the same uh ideology on to work things out through a political manner. Yo, Crystal, man, what's popping? Let me get your perspective on that too.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, I am not like a huge politic type of person. I definitely do try to stay involved and see what's going on and everything like that. But I don't know. Like, nowadays, it's like I don't agree with anything that's going on. So I kind of just stick to myself and just kind of like watch from the back, I guess. To be honest, I'm over here in Miami. We have DeSantis, who's he I mean, we like him here. But as far as honestly, like over there and stuff, I can't lie. I'm just I'm just not that aware of what's going on over there, and like that side.
Yeah, I mean,
Rush.
when it comes to politics, it's really a touchy manner, man. Like like for instance, like Trump, he's getting ready to raise these tariffs or whatever, and there's going to be a lot of budget cuts coming along the way with it, and from what I'm like hearing, like he's getting ready to cut 20% of healthcare workers or whatever, and cutting their budgets like more than half. So, would that cause a negative ripple effect within our communities if he were to, make that official thing?
Rush, absolutely not. There was a great movie from the late 90s, a great foundational white American movie. It was called The Truman Show, starring Jim Carrey. Did you ever see that movie, Rush or Mustard? Did you ever see that? Did you ever see that movie?
Yeah,
Nah,
I did.
Okay. See,
sure.
you gotta I think we have grown to really hate Hollywood over the past few years because of their woke agenda and their promotion of debauchery, which they've already promoted it anyway. But in the movie, Truman is the character in a TV show that he's not aware of, and everybody around him are actors. And in the movie, there are elements of the movie where he's starting to figure out, wait a minute, something's not right here with this environment. So the one time he tried to leave the island, he goes into the travel agency, and they have photos of planes being hit by lightning. And so the tariff, that's essentially the lightning or the lightning hitting the plane. These are boogeyman terms. The tariffs and the tariffs and there's going to affect the price of bread and the price of eggs and stop it. The same people that get scared by the word tariff, they'd take their ass out and buy a $2,000 TV with no problem. The same people that cry about, if Trump and China increased the tariffs. No, this would be the perfect opportunity for people to stop luxury spending. You know what that is, Mustard? Luxury spending?
I live in California. I see it every day.
Okay. The problem is that, I chin check people with this tariff argument. First of all, none of us, most Americans aren't into economics, global economics, etc. A lot of us can pretend like me, the supply chain and blah, 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 and all that. Yeah, okay, whatever. But the fact of the matter is that there are things in our lives that we need and don't need. Man, all we need is a good book, the lights being on, water running, and clean food. See, we get the bitching and complaining about this setup, an artificial international game of tariffs and etc. because we want to be a part of something that we really don't even have an understanding of. But the fact of the matter is that these things have been going on for 50, 60, 70, 80 years. And it hasn't really affected nobody, man. And just like in the 80s when they were crying about, Russia's going to attack the United States. That's all bullshit. It's just for the news. The tariff thing is just for the news to scare Americans. And that's all it is. That's all what it is. Listen, I grew up in the great 1990s, Rush, Mustard, and Crystal. I'm a child of the 90s. Now, there were times I'm not gonna lie to you. I wanted to wear Shaqs. I'm like, Mom, Dad, please buy me Jordans because. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't want to wear Shaqs. I'm sorry. I was like, Mom, Dad, please buy me Jordans. Please, for the love of God, I want to be cool. I want to be just like everybody else. And back in the 90s, that's when they were jacking people. I'm like, Mom, Dad, ain't nobody gonna jack me. I wear a size 3. But anyway. My mom particularly said, why don't you just get you some Shaqs? Nah, man, Shaqs cost $8. I can't wear that shit to school. Please, Mom, please buy me these Jordans. So my parents bought me, I can't remember which one, the black with the straps on. I can't remember which number that is. But they bought it for me one time. And I said, man, these shoes feel just the same as any other tennis shoe, which, And so what I'm saying is that tariffs only affect luxury spenders and people who want to be nigga rich. That's it. That's how I look at tariffs, brother. That's how I look at it. Oh, the price of bread is going up. Yeah, you don't have to buy the marble rye, Mr. Rich Man. Why don't you just buy the $2 wheat bread? See, when I hear people complaining about bread, it's because you want to buy the marble rye. You want to buy the $8 loaf of bread to be fancy. But people who aren't luxury spenders, they ain't worried about no goddamn tariffs. Most people don't even know what a tariff is. Hey, Rush, ask one of the people around you. Hey, man, hey, what's a tariff? Man, nobody don't know what that shit is.
You about to go on my point. You about to hear
that's what I'm saying. When I hear about this tariff shit, it bothers me, man. But go ahead. I don't want to ball hard. Go ahead.
Hey, that's all I gotta say, right? This is a good time for people to be educated. Everyone's becoming prepared. And actually, people know how the government runs. So, like, basic, AP, Schoolhouse Rock is needed because I do not believe that people understand about GDP, gross domestic products. People just don't get it. And I think certain sectors of the government people don't understand, or even like how things handle. So, if anything, this is a shout out to anyone out there that's creative and that want to put out content. I think now is the time to, 1, put some information out there so people could understand it. 2, make politics cool and reachable for everybody. And 3, the responsibility for everybody to read the news, not just look at the news, read the news, i.e. a newspaper. But as my daughter will call it, oh, that's a weird looking magazine. We have to get back to basics and understand how the world moves.
Rush.
Go ahead, Mike. We was expounding on the tariffs and stuff like that.
I worked in finance for the last decade. The thing about the tariff situation is he's right about it creating fear. It obviously did create fear. The market's already down to 5,000. SPX is down to 5,000 from 6,000, which it was like not even a few months ago. So that's about a 17% decline. It's the fear that happens. Here's the problem is that, and this takes a little while for this to happen. If you have tariffs and they cause Americans to stop buying imported items, it causes you then to have the opportunity to create GDP where you can create those items inside of your own country. You can actually get it to a point where it's actually cheaper to build it inside your own country. And we know this is the case. We used to think it wasn't the case because our standard of living is higher, but Elon Musk kind of showed us that it is the case. If you look all the parts for for SpaceX and for Tesla are machined in-house. They went through total vertical integration, which is the reason why it's the one of the biggest companies in the world. So I think there's a short-term bump that happens when you increase the price of anything, but I think over time, what happens, and also if these tariffs go towards the federal deficit, then that also helps with inflation. So I think, it's just one of these things that in the short term, this is not going to be great. And I think the fear is unwarranted. Like to have a 20% drawdown in the market is ridiculous. But I think in the long term, you have the opportunity to build more. Like you may see these tariffs may cause something, this is just hypothetical, iPhones to be built here in the United States, something like that. Does it make sense? Probably not iPhones, but something akin to that.
Hey, Mike.
What's up?
I talked to like some of my friends. I remember growing up in like the 90s, we did have a lot of factories in Central and South America. So I do remember there were products that says made in Venezuela, made in Honduras. Is that a possibility that we go back to having factories in Latin America again?
I mean, yeah. I mean, we have factories in Latin America right now. I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue has more to do with. I think the issue has more to do with the idea that, the cost of things going up in the short term. Like basically, supply and demand is going to determine. It's the reason why, like, you saw these companies move to Ireland because they weren't making them pay corporate income taxes. Right. Like you saw massive amounts of wealth moving to other countries. That's the same way. I don't know if you guys understand, but like tax havens like Panama, Morocco, and Dubai, they're there basically if you give a certain amount of money or you invest a certain amount of money there, they just let you go there and live there for free. And you see a lot of digital nomads will move to Dubai, take all their assets in crypto, and then just try to never get taxed by the United States government. I personally know people who've tried to do this. So it's just one of these things where supply and demand is always going to lead. Again, you see this incredible influx of people into Texas from California. Why? Because California has a 13% state income tax, and in Texas, it's 0. So you see Elon Musk and Joe Rogan and all these other people leaving California and moving to Texas specifically for that reason. And you'll see the growth rate for Texas is increasing faster than it is for California. And so it's just a function of supply and demand. If you raise tariffs on these other productions, for instance, if you just make Mercedes more expensive because we raise a tariff on 25% tariff on German cars. I'm just using this as an example. I'm not saying we're going to do this, but what it does is it just makes a Tesla in comparison more viable, more appealing, which causes American workers to have more jobs. That's generally what he's trying to do. And some people may say it's a function of jingoism, but I don't think it is. I really don't. I think every country, the way we look at immigration in this country as being controversial, do you think China would do any of the shit that we're doing? Do you think China would put you to death? Like there are other countries that are so much in Russia. Do you think they just let people cross the border? They don't. And I'm not saying, whatever your opinion about that is, our border policies in this country, even when we follow the law, are so incredibly lax in comparison to other countries. And so, I mean, I don't know. I just don't really think that's that big of a deal right now, especially with the tariff situation. I just don't. I think I'm a little concerned. I'm a little confused. But the same thing happened during COVID. There should not have been a 38% drawdown in the entire U.S. stock market during COVID. It was a big deal, but it wasn't that big of a deal. It was a massive overreaction. And I feel like this is a massive overreaction as well. It's just a function of fear.
Now, some say Trump's deliberately is trying to put us back into not back into a recession, but deliberately trying to put us in a recession so that all the prices of the goods and mortgages, rent could actually go down. Now, do you think that's a part of Trump's master plan in order to restore the wealth back into the United States?
Not only do I not think that, I think a lot of these tariffs will never be enacted. I think what's happened is, just imagine you have an employee or like you're a quarterback on a football team and you start making all these ridiculous demands, or an actor on a movie set. You make these ridiculous demands and then you start to reduce your demands, but you use these demands you artificially created as negotiating ploys. So what Donald Trump has done is he's created this artificial fulcrum called tariffs that he's threatening to use. And if he never imposes the tariff, if that causes people to change their behavior or causes people to want to negotiate better. So for instance, in a lot of these countries, they're tariffing us. I don't know if you're aware of this, but they tariff our exports. And so what he's saying is, if we can match your tariffs with ours, and so this other country's like, well, we want to be able to sell to Americans, so we're going to drop the tariffs on their exports down to zero. So the United States drops their tariffs on our exports down to zero. That's the negotiating tactic that I believe Donald Trump was intending on using when he did this. I don't think it was a function. Like I think in a lot of cases he wasn't even intending on using these tariffs. Hey guys, sorry, I had to bring another guy on here with me.
Yeah,
it's his birthday.
I had no idea you were on this. No, I have to.
Yeah.
The damn shop called me a little while ago, and I got to go pick up the Camaro here in about 45 minutes. But I figure I got 45 minutes, so I'll come and hang out.
Yep.
Hey, happy birthday!
Hey, thank you. Yeah, it's been I've been celebrating for the last 3 days. I think I've got like 4 hours sleep in like 2 days. So,
bro.
I'm on your schedule now. I'm on Mike's graveyard schedule.
You went home with the devil last night? Is that the schedule you're on?
I did. Yeah. So did you?
Oh my god!
No,
I got housekeepers here cleaning up the mess from last night. Oh boy! All right. Yeah. So I think this is a great discussion. I think it's something we should probably discuss more. These things. I will tell you the most interesting discussion to me, Rollo. I don't know if you've seen this. The $5 million card where Donald Trump is offering $5 million. You have to pay $5 million for this card, which puts you on a path to citizenship. You become a legal resident. Have you seen this?
No, not yet.
And the thing is, other countries do this. If you go to Monaco and you want to become a resident in Monaco, you have to put, I believe it's $12 million into a bank account and leave it there for a certain number of years. And then they allow you residency, and then you don't have to pay federal income taxes anymore. The same thing, I believe, in Dubai it's a very similar situation. So the idea of investing in your citizenship in order to come to another country, to garner the ability to work, is not something that Donald Trump just invented. Additionally, I think it's a great idea. You're telling me that I have a cheat code where I can generate a lot of revenue for the Treasury and at the same time bring the richest and brightest individuals from around the world to become U.S. residents. I think that's a great idea. I don't have any problem with that. And I'm curious how people I'm sure Destiny's going to have a huge problem with this, but the idea of bringing wealthy people, wealthy people become Americans, to me, I don't have a problem with that. What we're doing is more intellect and more capital, more ability, more competency is going to come into the United States. And here's the other thing. If I'm a capable, say, have you seen what's happened in Norway? A lot of the billionaires in Norway or in Sweden are leaving because their tax rates are so high. If I'm a capable person who lives in one of these Scandinavian countries and my tax rate is in the 70 percentile, for me to be in the United States, I actually have more freedom, more of an ability to build bigger companies, to build better companies to help more people. So I actually think it's better for those entrepreneurs to be in the United States as well. So I think it's a win-win situation.
Sure. Yeah, I know in New Zealand, they do something similar to that too. If you want to be a resident in New Zealand, you have to have a certain amount of money already in the bank, and you have to have like a marketable skill. Like you got to work in like the medical industry or something like that.
Yeah, if you're telling me all these Chinese and Indian billionaires are now going to get U.S. residencies, I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I really don't. I really think people like that, again, here's the other thing. You're a resident. You're not a citizen, which means if you commit a felony during your path to citizenship, you're going to have your residency revoked. So now you have invested $5 million in your path to citizenship, in addition to the fact that you're basically on probation the entire time. These are people who are wealthy, intelligent, and know they cannot commit a crime. To me, these are people I want coming in the country, so I don't have a problem with this at all.
Cool. What are we talking about?
Now, some would say like the immigrants help pay our our taxes and stuff like that. For example, like us be able to have the ability to file for unemployment and etc. Now, by Trump, standing on business and sending everybody back home, do you think that's a positive ripple effect for our country? And if you disagree, let me know. If you do agree, I still want the breakdown. Talk to me.
So in the short term, there's going to be some massive disruptions. If you have, I believe, what is the number? It's illegal immigrant, 11 million. I can't remember what the number is. 20 million illegal immigrants, undocumented workers that you have in the United States. When you start to remove them from the country, you're going to have supply chain disruptions, and you're going to have people in the southern states that are going to lose a lot of their labor force. I totally understand that, and that's going to be difficult in the short run. But the idea that you don't have sovereignty over your own borders is absurd. I'm sorry, like no other country except for these EU countries. This doesn't happen anywhere else. You guys wonder why Brexit happened? Brexit happened because the citizens of the United Kingdom were tired of people coming from Greece who were broke, or coming from Spain who were broke, coming into London and then just sitting there and just like not contributing anything. You need to have sovereignty in your own country. That has to be. Just because the standard of living in the United States is higher does not mean that it's everyone's right to live here. It just isn't. And I'll tell you right now, if I were someone and I wanted to become a citizen of the United States, I would come here, get a legal residency. I would probably enlist in the United States military. And on my first deployment, I become a citizen. That's something I would do if I wanted my citizenship that bad. And I know some people, I have some wealthy friends of mine, you know what they're doing? They're renouncing their U.S. citizenship because they don't want to pay taxes here. They want to go somewhere where they pay no taxes at all. So I don't know. I think this whole thing is I understand your argument. Your argument is basically there are undocumented workers in this country who do pay things like state and municipal income taxes and state and municipal sales taxes, etc. And so because of that, they're generating tax revenue, even though they're not citizens. And for sure, that definitely does happen. But there's also the issue of the 5-star hotels that they're being housed in, and these sanctuary cities that are spending millions of dollars on undocumented workers, undocumented immigrants to come into this country. This kind of thing that's happening also costs a lot of money. So I think it balances out. The idea that it's a net positive to our government to have a bunch of illegal immigrants come in here, I don't think is accurate.
Well, I mean, that's a good answer, man. Mr. B, man, you want to chime in, man? Talk to us, man. What's your thoughts on this whole subject matter?
I'll be really listening because I'm trying to figure out like what exactly you guys are doing. I mean, I understand we're talking about the tariffs, but
it sounds like he's playing Nuketown 24/7 on Call of Duty right now.
Yeah, he a game over there.
Yeah, just hit me up. Captain Longhorn 77. You guys want to play some Nuketown or some
hit him up. Do not hit him
I'm
up.
down. I'm down,
son,
bro.
I told him.
Yeah.
No, I understand the tariffs. I just don't get into that conversation too much because it's like we don't know the actual real details of what's going on or what's going to happen. That's how I feel about it. Like it's not out right now. He's only been in for 3 months. I think the guy said earlier that he don't think he's going to actually enforce it, and I don't think he is either. I think it's just more negotiating.
Again, if I create a problem and then you have to negotiate with me to remove the problem that I created, I get a better negotiating stance for free. I just invented the problem. The problem was tariffs. Now, he's going to have to use them in some cases, but in a lot of cases, again, like I said, in China, if they have tariffs on our goods and we can get them to reduce the tariffs in exchange for us reducing our tariffs, then that's a negotiating tactic that you use. But you literally created that negotiating tactic out of thin air. And so that's why, from that standpoint, it's genius. Now, if it comes back to haunt us, which, again, the market hitting 5,000 today is pretty shitty, then that's the short-term ramifications for that bluff. Awesome.
I mean,
hey, there's guys on here who say they want to expose us. Can we let them on here?
That's crazy.
I would love to have a debate with some people who want to expose us. That would be incredible.
There you go.
And by the way, turn your camera on. That'd be the first time in fucking history. How great would that be? A YouTube troll. Turn your camera on. Actually, put your real name on and expose us, dude. Why don't we do that? Can we do that? I would love to see that.
Just show us your Instagram. We'll be good.
Just show us your Instagram. My favorite ones are the ones who telling me I don't know how to like teach men how to attract women, and then I look at their IG and they look like a fucking axe murderer. Like, bro, please expose us. I've been waiting. I do these fucking Twitter spaces all the time, and I'm waiting for someone to expose us, but nobody ever does. But they sure do like to talk shit on Twitter. But as soon as I'm like, hey man, here's the link, turn your camera on, you fucking troll. And no, for some reason they don't want to show up.
I love it when guys are like, hey, why don't you have normal girls on Access Vegas? I'm like, okay, send me some pictures of what you think normal girls.
Yeah. And one guy, the normal girl is chunky, and another guy, the normal girl is a fucking 10 with no tits, and another guy, the girl has a BBL and a boob job. We don't understand. We have so many different girls on Access Vegas, and all these dudes they do is complain. If the girls are all hot, then they're all whores, and if the girls are not hot enough, then why do you have these ugly old chicks on here? I'm like, bro, we can't make you happy. No matter what we do, we can't win. I've had three Miss Nevadas on Access Vegas. 3 Miss Nevadas on Access Vegas, and they were called ran through whores on my show, bro. Miss Nevada, thank you. It's just ridiculous. One of the Miss Nevadas is she's a freaking lawyer. She's a lawyer. Bro, it's madness. Like, these dudes just can't be happy no matter what. And we're supposed to be in the red pill side of things. And it's just like these guys complain about shit, and it's crazy. Oh, let's see here.
Man, speaking of red pill, man, do you think Anthony Edwards took the red pill already, man? Because he looking like he want to go that child support.
Crazy.
He want to pay
what did Anthony Edwards do?
Child support, so she can't come back asking for more money. I want to get y'all.
That's interesting. So think about that. Instead of so basically child support is an annuity for women. That's essentially what it is. It's an annuity, and it's an investment annuity, because if he makes more money, like PJ Washington, what was it, like $200,000 a month for child support? Yeah. Some absurd. No child costs $200,000. If you spend $200,000 a month on your child, you're actually hurting your child. Do you understand? We're Homo sapiens. We didn't grow up in fucking spaceships and palaces. We grew up in the woods. The idea that you're going to sit there and spend $200,000 a month on your kid. Do you understand how spoiled you? Go watch the Menendez brothers documentary if you want to see what happens when you spend that much money on your children. That's absurd. You're spoiling them. Your kids should be going to the public library. That's where they should be going for free. That's what they should be on the Khan Academy for free. They should go, you know, you can go to the PS5 network right here. You can download video games for free. You shouldn't be spending $200,000 on your kid. That's absurd, Matt.
It's like Ashley St. Clair talking, like, it's funny because like I think Milo Yiannopoulos dug up some like old tweets of her saying, like, you know, no woman needs $200,000 a month for child support, like, and she's trying to like get $500,000 or like $1 million out of Elon right now per month. It's like, oh, okay.
I'm a woman and I agree. I have 4 kids and I actually waived all of my alimony, all of my child support. And yeah, it's usually just, you know, at that point, it's not really taking care of the kid. You're just actually funding the woman's lifestyle and just maintaining it, because 200,000 or even like 50,000. I'm like 50,000 a month. That's crazy. Like,
now 50,000 a month.
I think I did something wrong.
Is that what you need to?
I think we forget that child support is not just about the child; it's about maintaining.
I
agree with you.
But like 50,000 a month is like that, maybe to date like a sugar baby in Miami. That's what you need for sure, but not for like raising a kid. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think 50,000 a month is kind of ridiculous, you know. But I want to ask Crystal
maybe 50,000 yen.
I can't hear.
Yeah, I mean that's more than enough to take care of the child. But what made you relinquish having the the child support and alimony? Like, what made you do that?
No, I think it's interesting. So you're saying Anthony Edwards wants to pay a lump sum up front instead of having to pay a child support for a long period of time, and she has to agree to that. Yeah, I think it's kind of a great idea, because Anthony Edwards is going to be making. He's young enough. He's going to be a 100 mil per year NBA player. Her best interest would be to not do that. Would be to not sign this deal. But even if he gives her 20 million up front, 30 million up front, it's actually still a better deal for Anthony Edwards. You want to know what else is crazy, guys? Do you know that if I pay child support, I can't write it off on my taxes as an expense? Isn't that crazy? And she doesn't have to pay fucking income taxes on it. Isn't that what a fucking grip is that, bro? What, are you kidding me? Who wrote these laws? That is nuts, dude.
Alimony laws.
At least let me write it off on my taxes. That is crazy to me. So if my child lives with me, I can write it off my tax. That's nuts, dude.
I was talking to James Sexton. He says most alimony laws are holdovers from like the Depression era. Like they've just been updated like for modern times, but they began like in the early 1930s.
Good evening, gentlemen. I've been actually listening to you guys for many years, actually. Rollo and Mike. I love Access Vegas. I like, all the rational mail, all that stuff. I just want to ask very quickly, have you guys seen the new Netflix series Adolescence and the fact that the British government is literally making law and policy based on that.
Yeah,
is that
honestly.
insane or what?
Yes. I did a full show on this about 2 weeks ago. I watched all 4. By the way, you don't have to watch number 4. Number 3, you can stop there because number 4 is just like, it's kind of pointless fluff. It's like they needed an extra.
But to be fair, Rollo, the number 4, like they said this wasn't all about the manosphere. It wasn't. Now, like I can tell that what this was Stephen Graham and Brad Pitt trying to come together and come up with an idea for a really like thought-provoking discussion. And what happened was, I think the creator was like, let's jab this square peg into this round hole. Let's jab this manosphere shit in here, even though the idea of upper middle class. So I looked it up after the show came out. I showed this to you, Rollo. Upper middle class kids then watching manosphere content leading to a stabbing. 0 incidents in the UK. Let me say it again. 0 incidents in the UK. This is complete and total propaganda by the United King's government to justify their absurd censorship laws. If you misgender someone or you call someone, a gay person, the F word or some kind of slur, that you use that, you are arrested. If I had a child and my child was some alternative lifestyle and he got called some name, I'd be upset, but the person doesn't need to go to jail for that. Does everybody understand? I think it's abhorrent if somebody uses racial slurs, but you don't need to go to jail for that. That's ridiculous. And so like people have the right to say stupid shit. And in the United Kingdom and in Canada, if you say certain things, they put you in jail for your speech. And then they call it hate speech. But what it might be is anti-government speech. Again, am I completely, do I think that COVID was some made up whatever nonsense? Not really. But if you want to say, I don't want to take the vaccine, you shouldn't go to jail for that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I was going to say, I just read this morning. It's like, report your children to prevent if they're watching misogyny.
Can you show that? Yeah. Can you expand that? Report your children to prevent if they're watching misogynistic videos online. Again, guys, report your children for watching Labuto right now. You're watching this video. Go report your kids for them watching Rollo and I explain to you that men and women are different.
Yeah, that's. I mean, the thing is, in Britain, it seems most of the politicians, their Twitter feed seems to be filled with Andrew Tate. You guys don't come up as often, but I mean, you guys are essentially in that sphere. And do you actually fear that because my
name like recently in Wired magazine, and we got mentioned by name on the BBC.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, you guys are sort of, as far as popularity is concerned, sort of up there, but it just seems that these people are obsessed with Andrew Tate because that seems to be most of their, the algorithm seems to feed them that.
They don't know
exactly.
Well, they don't know any better, but like also Andrew's a really good speaker. I've been speaking my whole life and he's better than me. I'm just going to admit he is better at coming up with stuff. And I talked to
personality and he's charismatic. That's why.
Yes. Yeah.
He is charismatic. Honestly, I just don't think he has original thoughts. I think you guys have come up with a lot more original thoughts than he has, and concepts, which he just parroted.
Well, I mean, there's something to be said for that. I think if you actually look at like traditional Sharia law and then you listen to stuff that Myron and Andrew say, you're going to see that's what it is, and both of them are Muslim. I think that has more to do with it than anything. It's not original. It's just kind of a lot of the things they say, if you go back and look, they are traditional Muslim values.
Yeah, I mean, the religion of Islam, if you would say, it's extremely based, certainly not progressive, and this is the unholy coalition between the left and Islam in Britain, which is going to come up interesting in the next few years, where these two clash. I just don't think transgenderism and Islam are going to really live alongside each other for very long. But that's a whole other thing. What I wanted to say was, do you guys fear, because I've noticed a lot of people have actually been banned from Britain, especially conservative speakers, Lawrence Southern, for example. Are you guys ever planning to even visit the United Kingdom at any time or do any kind of speaking tours or anything like that? Do you actually fear that Europe is going to become exceedingly hostile to your kind of speeches?
If those pricks on trigonometry would ever invite me out, I'd go.
Yes. Oh, Constantine and I forgot the other chap's name.
I think me and Mike, who deserve at least a half an hour with those guys. No, I wouldn't rule it out. I am, once I'm done with my 6th book, I'm probably going to be doing a book tour of some sorts and probably be doing some. I already set up dates here in the United States, but I have a lot of people who would love for me to come out to the UK. I have people in Turkey right now who are just keep asking me to come out, and then I got a whole slew of people. I don't know how I did this, but I'm very, very popular in Kenya for some reason, and I have a lot of people who really want me to come out to Kenya and some other places. So at some point, I probably would. I wouldn't rule out going to UK, but I would need a purpose to go out there, and probably it would have to be like a show or Pierce Morgan. Or
I have about 50 clients in the UK, and so I'm probably going to come out there. Probably when Swimsuit USA does their Miss UK version, I may come out there for that.
See, we need a purpose. I would go out there for that too.
Swimsuit USA. Yeah,
I'll go with you.
Yeah.
We'll be in Miami in the middle of May. That's about as close as I'm gonna get at this point,
bro. It is so crazy. You guys don't even have that many people watching, and there's still haters on here, bro. It's how sad is your life, bro? It is so crazy. Somebody sitting there talking about, I don't even have a baby mama, dude. I've been called an alcoholic, and I've never been drunk before, bro. It's crazy. Dude, get a life. It's so funny. And by the way, it's not that it makes me upset. It makes me disappointed, because not only are you look stupid when you say it. It's just not that you're not successful, which is why you're trolling. It's that when you say stupid troll stuff to people you could learn from, you're actually making yourself dumber. I don't think you understand. It's the act of being a troll makes you less successful. It's not the other way around. And a lot of these guys, they just don't get it. That's why, dude, that's why you see all those comments. Do you remember the thing with Ashton Hall, the guy who did the thing where he puts his face in ice and drinks the Saratoga water and does the sprinting, all this stuff in the morning? The thing is, when I saw that, did I think it was a little bit try hard? Sure. But am I going to criticize the guy? No, because he probably makes a fuck ton of money as a fitness influencer now. And why am I criticizing someone who's doing well? Why is that? Because YouTube, TikTok taught me to be a troll. That's what I need to do rather than building myself up. Dude, I just all these people criticizing him. Do you make more money than him? None of you do. None of you. So that's the thing I was saying is so many people are jealous of this guy's lifestyle. Yes, some of the stuff was try hard. I'm not going to lie. Okay. Doing I do 1 ice bath a day. I don't know 3. Okay. But to be fair, I'm not going to criticize the guy because he's successful. And that's what we've gotten to. That is what Twitter is teaching us. It's teaching us to be critical of people who are successful. It's it doesn't matter how good my advice is. You need to be critical, even though you suck with women. And if you want to see examples of it, look in the comments right now. Look at some of these weirdo. These are real incels. Real incels that are making.
I've gotten to the point right now where I cannot post a picture on Instagram or on Twitter or anywhere. Me and my dog, right? I can't post a picture without somebody going, "Oh, he's flexing on everybody again. Oh, who does he think he is?" Right? I was with Fresh I think it was last May or last year. And we needed to take a picture of me for a thumbnail because all the ones they have from before were pretty old. So he's like, "Hey, let's take a shot." So I'm on the back end of his Audi R8. And I just got some sunglasses on him in Miami. And so I'm like, "Oh, hey, let's take a picture." I took a picture of it. I posted on Twitter or Instagram or something. Within 30 seconds, a half a minute, I had people going, "Oh man, is that his new car he paid for with all of his ill-gotten gains from his books?" And it's I can't win. I cannot put a picture up without people think I'm flexing.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, how can you make money from your books be ill-gotten gains?
That's what I was saying,
you
bro.
Wrote
here's the other
book,
way.
People bought it.
I'm an author.
I have literally helped train my sales team and come up with different offers and set up my own offer, my own online program through stuff I learned from Tai Lopez. But somehow Tai Lopez is a scam artist. If I literally have built a business off what I've learned from him, how can he be a scam artist? That's the part that's just so crazy to me. And I listen to these people criticize him. You criticize him because he recommends books to you? How ignorant are you? It's just so maddening to me. And by the way, the what you're hearing in my voice, it's not anger, it's disappointment. You could be so much better, all of you, but instead you choose to troll. And by the way, hey, for those of you who are trolls, here's your moment to get famous. You put up the link, right? You call in link, Labuto. The call in link's right there for StreamYard. All you have to do is open up Chrome and come on StreamYard and then expose us, bro. I've been waiting to be exposed for so long. Stop making me wait. Come expose me right now. Click the link. I'm so excited for you to expose me, bro. Let's do it right now. Okay, click the link, or leave more comments leave more comments like a little beta little girl. Leave more comments in the YouTube thing, or you can click that link and then come on here. Let's watch what happens.
Can I ask Michael and Rollo, actually, both of you, since you seem to have a fan base of people who hate watch you, have you ever thought about having a sort of an open panel session?
We do all the time. We do it on
all the time.
Twitter Spaces.
So I'll tell you the problem. So Hafiz, we tried this. I'm the only guy I think in history who's done this. I did a live 100-person Zoom call and I live streamed it on YouTube. And the problem is if anybody pulls their dick out, I all of a sudden lose my YouTube. And this has happened. Dudes will start showing, we would start the thing off and we wouldn't go live. Guys would start showing gay porn. They would start screaming out the N-word. That's the problem. It's just all these autists, all these Aspergery kids, like you see them in the comments right now, all these Aspergery kids, they come on there and they just ruin it. And I'm not going to lose my YouTube channel over that. So what we did instead was go to Twitter Spaces. And it's like, again, if you say crazy stuff, Twitter's not going to get rid of my account because someone else does. If any of you guys have ever tried an IG live and someone wants to jump in and do video sharing with you, every time I do it, it's some Indian dude masturbating. I can't, I'm sorry. And that's for real. Like, that's all it is. And I lose. You cannot go live on Instagram for another month because some jack off was jacking off on my IG live.
What's with the Indians why is it Indians always? I know Indian street food is something you don't go anywhere near, but
they're bad on the internet. Whew.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Anyway, I'm still waiting, guys. We gave you the link. We gave you the link. Come on. It's your time to get famous, bro. You can make clips.
Yeah, man, y'all gotta get on camera, man. If y'all want to chop it up with us.
Come on, guys, you can get on camera.
You got 15 minutes. They don't want to get on camera.
You don't have to be a troll that has the driest dick in the world. You don't have to be a troll anymore, bro. You can come on and expose us now. This is your chance to be famous. You can clip this and then start your YouTube channel about how you expose Michael and Rollo. Do it now. Come on.
I think a lot of people make they don't make a distinction between the black pill and the red pill. And I think that's one of the things that I'm seeing happen right now, especially when it comes to like this thing with adolescence and just it amazes, well, maybe it doesn't amaze me, but it amazes me that like we can like create policy, like public policy over something that is just so misunderstood right now. And so it goes from being like haters and people, trolls in the chat to people producing movies based on deliberate misunderstandings. And then from there, they take it to Parliament, right? And then now it's mandatory for all these kids to watch Adolescence. And now suddenly me and Mike are like radicalizing these potential incel terrorists, right? As a result of this complete misunderstanding that begins in the chat.
Okay. By the way, the guy, and I know Rollo and him go back and forth on Twitter, William Costello, who is an Irish citizen, did a study for the University of Texas at Austin, studying the patterns of incels and their behavior and with their exposure to manosphere content, and found that they weren't violent. Additionally, when I went through, I used ChatGPT, I used Grok, I use Perplexity, I use Gemini, I use all of them. I copied and pasted the question, all of them. Can you find one incident where some upper middle class kid watches manosphere content and then stabs a girl? They could not find one. They were always lower middle class, and it had nothing to do with manosphere content. This is complete and total propaganda by the British government.
Yeah, I mean, I'm worried that this is going to probably spread to other governments. I mean, certainly European countries are on that precipice, because I think Europe is headed towards a extremely authoritarian system. But what I wanted to ask you guys was, it's sort of in the same realm. People like the PUA era, Mystery, Neil Strauss, Russell Jeffries, I think Ross Jeffries, yeah. What happened, and because I believe you guys are sort of the evolved version of that era. You guys sort of, the whole PUA thing evolved into the red pill. What happened, and how come they didn't capitalize from essentially this red pill sphere? Because I don't see them or hear them at all
I don't
anymore.
think a lot of them took it as far as, like, I think myself or Mike. Like, Mike's definitely from that era, but like, and I was too, but like, I was more interested in from an academic perspective than anything else. So you also have to remember there was Roosh, Royce, and myself at that time, and we weren't actually necessarily in the pickup artist space. I guess Roosh you could argue he was, but then there was the writers and the people who really kind of took the psychology aspect of it, and we just took it a step further, and we really kind of fleshed it out a little bit more. Whereas, like, so what I was going to say is like PUA is a practice, right? But the theory is the red pill. Black pill, doomer, MGTOW, those are practices. MRAs, that's a practice. The white pill, tradcons, whatever, there was a lot of crossover with the red pill and like what Andrew Wilson is talking about right now. I wouldn't say Andrew Wilson would call himself red pill, but his practices and his motivation and his movement, for lack of a better term, is still rooted in red pill praxeology. So really, the red pill is not really, for or against. It's just about what is, not what ought to be or what should be. And I think a lot of people have a really tough time with that, because you can't tell people facts and stats and data and everything without telling them how to feel about it. Because if you don't, they will hate you for it, or else they will tell you, or they'll wedge in why they think that you are telling them that in the first place, because they think you have an agenda. So if you tell them stats or whatever, suddenly I think a lot of people think that what me and Mike talk about is inherently misogynistic, and it's really not. We're just relating facts. We're just relating data that we collect, and we go, okay, what can we extrapolate from this? What can we correlate with this? And we're not out here telling people. I'm not giving anybody advice. This is not a movement. It's not a philosophy. It's not a religion. It's not a movement, whatever you want to call it. But people want to turn it into that, because that they can fight. They can't fight the stats. So they have to turn it into a belief set. They have to turn it into a religion. They have to turn it what's right and what's wrong. It's not about what's right and what's wrong. It's about what is. So that's the difference between red pill and black pill, red pill and MRAs, red pill and whatever. I see a lot of ortho bros right now are coming out of the woodwork, right? But they're taking red pill principles, and they're still taking a lot of that theory and the stuff and the data and the sets, and they're just applying it in a way that interlocks with their ideology. And hey, more power to you. Go ahead and do that. I think Andrew Wilson is like, he kicked ass on Pierce Morgan with Tommy Lahren. I thought that was fantastic, right? And I said so on Jedediah Bila's show not too long ago. But again, there's the theory and then there's the practice, and one is incomplete without the other. So if you just have your practice and you're just like, well, congratulations, you just started a cult. But if all you ever do is just like read my books and you don't actually do anything with it, well, then you're just a bookworm. You're not going to, you can read about it and be very well educated, but you're never going to put it into practice. Then what practical use is it to you?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
When it comes to the black pill, right? People that go through the ideology of the black pill, do you think they have a pessimistic mindset? Because people that hold on
to say the least, yeah,
they have a despondent ideology. Well, it's hard to say, because really all it is that's what they think is best practice. Just don't do anything. Just walk away. The best practice is to not do anything. MRAs, their best practice is to like go talk to Congress and try to get, they're very top down, right? They want to go and create new laws and everything. I think one of the unique things that Mike does with MOA and me with Reignite is we're bottom up. It's each one tell one. We work on the individual, and then that's how things grow from there. Which I think is a better way of doing it, quite honestly. But if you look at like the black pill, it's just what they think is the best practice. The best practice is to not play the game, right? MGTOWs, just walk away. The only winning move is to walk away. The juice isn't worth the squeeze. Those are declarations of practices. Those aren't what is and what isn't. It just is, here's we have data, we read the red pill, we read the rational male, and this is what we choose to do with it. I don't necessarily agree with that, but that's the difference between the praxeology of what the red pill is versus what the practice is. I'm not telling you what the practice, I'm an analyst. I'm not an advice call. I'm not Dear Abby, okay? I'm the guy that's going to tell you, here's what it is. I'm going to give you the equipment. I'm going to give you the education. I'm going to say, here's the data. How are you going to use this? Here's the tools. What are you going to build with this? Here's the paintbrush and the paints. What are you going to paint me a picture? Your picture is your life, right? I don't want a cult. I don't want people to go, I'm a Tomassi man or whatever. I want them to take those tools and use them to better their lives with, and then show me what they built afterwards.
Real quick, you asked a question about the pickup artist. So I'll tell you exactly what happened. In 2017, there were like 1,400 PUA channels that were taken down off YouTube. And because pickup artistry on YouTube was generating income from showing hidden infield, and hidden infield all of a sudden became illegal, that's the reason why pickup did not get to manifest in sort of the 2019 growth of the red pill movement. The red pill, actually, you need to think of it as more of like a replacement. A vacuum had been created in male self-improvement because artists were taken off the air. And I know this because I'm really good friends with Owen Cook. He's one of my best friends. And then I'm friends with Adam Lyons, and I know Mystery pretty well, and I know Neil Strauss. I'm telling you, that's what happened to them. And the other thing is, because that nuke had gone off, all of them wanted to distance themselves from the PUA community. And then when the red pill community came in, because it has a sprinkle of tradcon in it, then conservatives could get behind it, whereas conservatives really couldn't get behind pickup. They can get behind, you know, traditional monogamy, traditional biblical monogamy, which is what some red pill people preach. So I think that's the reason why this movement, as opposed to PUA had no political aspect to it. There was no Republican or Democrat aspect to PUA. Red pill has a very, very, very strong conservative, politically conservative bent to it. And I think because of that, that's why it caught more of a wave. And you'll see Andrew Wilson on Piers Morgan. That's why you'll see that. You'll see Andrew Tate on Piers Morgan. You'll see that now because that bent is happening. You'll see Chris Williamson on Joe Rogan because now, and I'm not saying Chris Williams is red pill, but that whole content of male self-improvement is now becoming popular again because it's got a conservative sprinkle to it.
Well, I don't know that I would say Andrew Wilson is for male self-improvement. He's for traditional family and patriarchy, not red pill at all, actually. I think you're wrong.
What do you mean he's not red pill?
I think he crisscrosses.
Well,
I think there's intersections.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
He believes in hypergamy. Oh, dude, I talk to Andrew all the
so
time.
Red pill's only hypergamy. I'm sorry, I may have missed. Maybe I missed my mark. You're saying that red pill invented hypergamy?
The definition of these things, for instance, whether or not red pill means one thing to, I don't know, Pearl Davis, then it means something to Rollo. With Rollo,
Pearl Davis is a great example, right? Pearl Davis is hated by you guys, and she says the same things you guys say. I don't understand.
Bro, I don't understand. I'm sorry. Were you kicked in the head? She says the same things we say. When did I say
it? Literally sounds like I'm listening to Rollo when I listen to Pearl Davis, which is why I don't listen to her very often.
Well, I mean, that's because she lifts everything I've ever done. That's why. The thing about Pearl, the biggest problem with Pearl is the fact that she is a very bad representative of the red pill. She gets onto bigger name because she's.
I could get behind. I can. That's a good answer.
She's the only female that can do this. Like here's the thing. People give her leeway because they use her as sort of the butt of jokes, right? So if you got if it's a slow news cycle on Daily Wire, Matt Walsh is going to go and say, okay, well, what did Pearl say today that we can actually go run a 15-minute clip on? That's pretty much what her purpose is as far as the red pill is concerned. I mean, in this space as it is, and that's my biggest gripe with her is she's just simply she can't defend a point. If you've ever
seen, you think she should be better than she is?
I think she should be removed from the space is what I think she is, because I think there are people.
Well, that's interesting.
I'm not saying
you don't believe in self-improvement in that aspect.
I don't.
You don't think Pearl can improve?
I don't think she is in it for the right reasons. Put it that way. I don't think she's genuine about it. She's already said she's an entertainer. I mean, on several different occasions, she's just about the grift. She's just about the show. She's about the.
To be fair, Andrew Wilson says he's an entertainer.
The thing is, there's an old saying in the red pill and MGTOW sort of space grid one. It says, if you want to fish, you don't ask a fish how to fish. You ask a fisherman. And unfortunately, Pearl's a fish. You can't really go there.
Well, sort of a fish. I don't know.
I just.
I'm Andrew Wilson.
I'm gonna be really transparent. I've talked to Pearl a couple of times. I don't know her very well. I know people that know her that say she's not a bad person. I've only watched this much of her content because honestly, I just don't watch a lot of content.
Oh, I've been on her show twice.
You've been on her show.
Yeah, I like Pearl personally, but I'm not going to like, hey, I need advice on what to do with my next date. I'm not going to hit up Pearl for that. I like her personally. Rollo doesn't like her personally. She texts me all the time, and we're still friends, but it's not the first place that I would go. I would listen to an evolutionary psychologist. I would listen to, Rollo's experiences over the last 28 years of marriage. Like I would listen to that first, but I don't dislike Rollo. Again, the same thing. Like Andrew Tate has done a lot of stuff for me. He's been very helpful for me. He's been a very cool friend. But I don't agree with everything the dude says, but I agree with a lot of he says. But I do think a lot of the persecution of him has to do with things that are not realistic.
Yeah. As far as Andrew Wilson is concerned, I mean, I talked to him quite a bit. I've been friends with him for quite some time. He's been on my show. I've been on his show. He's been on Access Vegas once at least. As far as him being, does he promote himself as Red Pill? No, but a lot of the points that he makes, especially just recently with Tommy Lahren, just schooling Tommy Lahren on Pierce Morgan. I mean, he's making literally points. So I mean,
right, but that's okay. But that's subscribing red pill to basic.
Well, maybe he's red pill, and what would you say, red pill?
Well, that's what we need basic common knowledge. We need basic common knowledge.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that.
A man cannot have a baby. That is basic common knowledge. That it happens also be red pill.
I actually have people come into my show all the time, and they're like, "Well, you're red pill because you." I used to go, I used to super chat on whatever all the time, telling women that, they need patriarchy in their life. And I believe in patriarchy and all that kind of stuff. And I get lumped into that a lot. And I'm really not, I've never considered myself red pill. I've read your book, the first book, Rollo, and I know some of the people that and that sort of thing. I actually did a show with Daverick. And while I was in Vegas last year, and look, there's no hate here on my side. It's just very interesting that a lot of things get ascribed to red pill that I just feel like are just like are more common to like patriarchy, biblical norms, just more that sort of thing. And my biggest problem with red pill, and actually I'm glad to have this opportunity, Rollo, to kind of run this by you. Why is it that so many red pill creators, I know you don't do this, so I'm saying red pill creators, have this really strange viewpoint on marriage, since marriage is the foundation of what men should aspire to?
Okay, you use the word should. So that's first off. Should or shouldn't is not a red pill print. Like I said before, it's you can take it and use it for practices. Sure, if you think that's what it should or should not. Now, I can tell you right now, there's a lot of people that I know that are in this space and who are not in this space who would not say that that's like the way that they want to live their life. So sure. when we I think one of the things that a lot of people use, especially, and I'm not even talking about trad cons here. I think a lot of evolutionary psychologists use monogamous long-term commitment, whether that is marriage or that is just sort of like pair bonding or whatever they're talking. They use that as a litmus test. They use that as a metric for success. They use that as a metric. And the thing is the problem that I had, like when I was doing all these debates with guys in that, let's say in that sphere, was that their point, their idea of success or their idea of quote unquote happiness always tracked back to one thing. And that was always, a pair bonding between a man and a woman. I'm saying, well, that's fine if that's what your should is. Okay. I wouldn't take that away from anybody. But the thing is that you can't define what a mating strategy is, or you can't define what sexual strategies are according to who's getting married and who's not, or who wants to get married to who and who doesn't want to get married to other people. So like whenever I'm talking to like Alex from Date Psych and we're talking about, or I'm debating with him about what is assortative mating, right? Yeah. If you want to talk about marriage, if you want to talk about long-term commitment, if you want to talk about long-term relationship, then we can sort of get into that. But the problem is like the people that women want to mate with or that men want to mate with are not necessarily who they end up with in a long-term monogamous relationship. So that's first and foremost. The other thing is, as far as marriage is concerned, like I said, everybody knows I've been married for 28 and a half years. I'm not against marriage. I'm not anti-marriage. Okay. I'm also on.
Yeah, I didn't say that.
No,
I didn't say that you were.
I know you're not. I know a lot of people. There's a lot of people who say just never get married, right? And in some ways, I think I can understand why they're at where they're at. But like, again, what's best practices? What's best practices for them? What's best practices for you? So when I'm talking about it and people think, oh, well, Rollo's really anti-marriage, he must have a horrible marriage or something. No, I've had a very successful, very happy marriage. Hell, Mike saw me last night at Babes in Toyland with my wife. And you know, I think that marriage is a great institution. I have said, I'm on record as having said that men and women are innate, natural, evolved complements to one another. The strengths of one make up for the weakness of the other, and vice versa.
Yeah, my wife is the only thing that prevented me from firing half my staff several times.
Yeah. So anyways, the point I'm making here is that I'm not anti-marriage. I'm just anti the way that we do it now. Whenever we talk about education, when we talk about, oh, well, it's not worth it to go to college anymore. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I'm not against going to college. I'm not against higher education. I'm against the way we do it now, right?
Sure.
Which is now it's an indoctrination camp for
right.
liberal leftist ideologies, right? So do I agree with that? Yes, I do. But do I think that the value of an education is worthless? Fuck no. But I do think that the way that we do it now, it has sort of corrupted the good that it could be doing other people. So again, it's I hate to say it's nuanced. It's not really that nuanced, but it's just like, it's how do you get into a conversation with somebody who, like Jim Sexton, the divorce attorney, who has been doing divorces for the last 22 years and seen the ugliest of the ugly. And yet he's still saying, I still believe in love. I still want it to work. It's still a great idea. Like, if we could do it a different way. And I think that once we got to, like, say, the 20th or 21st century, like ever since we, got into the social media age, we've been trying to figure out how to do marriage. When we have those conversations, and if I sound like, or anybody else sounds like they're in somewhat coming down on the institution of marriage, it's not that they don't necessarily believe that marriage, they don't want to get married. Obviously they do. But the thing is they want to be able to do it with reassurances. They want to be able to do it to make it worthwhile. That's one of the things that what Andrew Wilson was just talking about on Pierce Morgan with Tommy Lahren. What's in it for the guy? And she's like, she's oblivious. Like no one's ever asked this to her in her lifetime. In fact, she's offended by the question because she's been so oblivious to it. And like, when I look at that and I point those things out, then people go, well, you must be anti-marriage. Like, no, I'm not. I'm just pointing this out. How are we going to solve this?
She actually, at one point, she actually said to Piers, oh, he thinks I don't bring anything to the table. And yet she never actually said what she brings to the table, because she thinks that it is obvious that she's a blonde bombshell, and she brings vagina to the table, and that's all that's required.
Right. I mean, and that's actually, obviously we can, they're all men, except for the one woman on the panel. We're all men here. And we all understand that there's a large number of women out there that believe that just because they can fuck really good, they're going to win. And that's not necessarily the truth.
Yeah. So
there's a lot of women out there that can fuck really good.
So what you're giving is a prescription, and what we're trying to say with Rollo and I is what we're giving as a description. So, for instance, if one of the highest precipitators of divorce is when a woman makes more money than a man, what you can do from that is then extrapolate and say it's probably better for me to be a provider or a leader in my family. Or you could come up with some other idea and say, hey, you know what? Fuck what this data says. I'm going to go in the other direction. But we're not going to shame you if you're a man and you date a woman who makes more money than you. That's not our point. When Principia was written by Isaac Newton in 1687, he describes in that book gravity. He doesn't say you should use gravity. He doesn't say you should never use gravity. He just describes it. If an oncologist tells you have cancer, he's not condoning the cancer. He's explaining to you the rules and the boundaries and the reality that you have to live in, and from this point going forward. When you look at the red pill, it is supposed to be a lens describing reality. If your reality, if you want to sprinkle in your Christianity with your reality, that's fine. We're not telling you not to do that. Or your Islam. That's not the issue. The issue, issue is before, when people say things we never said, like Rollo believes we should cancel the 19th Amendment. No, the fuck he didn't say that. Pearl said that. That's the problem. It's like people are ascribing one person to another. Like Pearl Davis, really, a lot of red pill content creators don't really accept her. And Andrew Tate has specifically stated he is not red pill. And yet, when you discuss the red pill, he's the first person that comes up.
That is true.
That's the issue. That's the issue.
That's
so
true.
So let me describe to you what red pill is, not to us, but to everyone else. Red pill is everything that causes school shootings. Red pill is everything you disagree with. Red pill is anything you need it to be in order to win your argument. Red pill is you take all the worst ideas from the worst people, you put them together, and because you have a narrative, you use red pill against that narrative. And now it's become this gigantic bongo bat that you hit people over the head with whenever you have a disagree with. Oh, that sounds red pill. That sounds manosphere. No.
Oh, I get that all the time.
Yeah, but these people don't know what they're talking about. Again, if you want to say that men have twice as much upper body strength as women, and that's been described through several studies in evolutionary biology and evolutionary psychology, that's true. The problem is it comes off as toxic to some people. If I were to explain to you that numerous studies have been done that shows that the average man wants as much sexual variety as the top 1% of women, feminists hate that, but it's still true. So if it's true, it can't be misogynistic. But the problem is because I express this and other concepts that clearly expose hypergamy, because I've done that, therefore now I am toxic. And so now in order to attack me, you need to take everyone you disagree, you need to bundle them up into a group called the red pill guys, and then you need to make them out to be as much of a mouth-breathing troglodyte hater as you can in order to win your argument, because in the arena ideas, we will fucking kill you. That's the reason why. Because if you had to come on here and debate us, we would mollywop you, because we have data for days that we could show that backs up what we're saying. So you're never going to win that argument with us. So you need to make videos talking shit about us behind our back, or you need to make, and by the way, my favorite one is when people make videos about us and then don't even tag us in it. Like the level of fucking cowardice to make a video about me and not even tag me in it. Like, oh my, dude, do you piss sitting down? Like, it's crazy. So when I see that, that's where we are. I can't defeat Michael and Rollo in an arena of ideas. So what I need to do instead is take everything I disagree with, clump into this idea called red pill, and then just say whatever I disagree with is red pill. Whatever they say causes school shootings. Whatever they say causes misogyny. So that's where we are.
Well, I mean, this was a similar thing that was like in the 90s where they were blaming video games for
and again, disproven. Great point. Totally disproven. Great point. Totally disproven. And the idea that manosphere content causes children to become violent has been totally disproven. And yet they are passing laws currently telling you that if your children is watching red pill content, that they need to be given some kind of fucking therapy. Really? Telling your child he should lead in a relationship, let's send him to therapy. Telling your child he should be stoic, let's send him to therapy now.
Yeah, the thing is, there was a gentleman a little while back that said the problem with the modern day sort of education of young men is to tell them they're essentially broken women. That being a man is defective, and you should be more feminine. This is why they're telling men that you should be crying and you should be expressing your emotions and all this stuff. Yeah, and it fundamentally goes against the DNA of a man, at least a heterosexual man. I mean, I don't know, maybe gay men can cry on a dime, but the rest of us seem to feel somewhat weak when we express our emotions that openly to the public, or certainly to your woman. So I just think that these things, the problem is, because we're going fundamentally against nature, essentially, because a lot of this stuff, this trans ideology, all of these things are against nature itself. The pushback is going to be exceedingly sort of hard on the leftist progressive ideology, because they're not ready for it. But the other part is that it's never going to go away. Red pill, like the pickup artistry that morphed into the red pill, is going to simply morph into something else, because men and women are going to have relations. They're going to have to interact with each other. They're going to want to date each other and marry each other and have sex with each other, and that is going to be going on unless something fundamentally changes in Homo sapiens sapien. That's how it's going to be for a very long time. So the red pill thing is never going to go away, because as long as men and women have to procreate and have to be in relationships or have to interact with each other in order to copulate, there will always be a form of red pill. There will always be a form of men and women trying to attract each other.
I want to, Mike, you said something really interesting, and I get this. So again, I get accused of being red pill quite often. Although I feel like I'm just in the manosphere, it's fine. But one of the things I say is that there's nothing really wrong with the red pill in and of itself, because it is just a list of descriptors on how men can improve their lives. The problem is that there are creators out there that give prescriptors that sound to a lot of people very, very bad. And you have, obviously anybody can label themselves as whatever they want. And of course, and you are right. The first person they point to is Andrew Tate, who has said multiple times he's not red pill.
Yes.
So you're right. You're 100% right there. Nobody's going to take that away. I think the only thing that, and I'm, again, I get this myself, and I am not particularly red pill at all. I don't think. But at the end of the day, we really just want men to be men again, and I don't know if you've read, you probably have, you seem well read. I believe it was Hillsdale College or one of those groups did a study, and they found that they call it the feminizing of our young boys, and it specifically examined how the modern school system is meant from the word go to turn little boys into little girls by making them sit still for hours. They dropped most physical education and PE and that sort of thing out of classes. And then when little boys do what little boys do and they can't sit still, the first thing they want to do is drug them and into submission. And so I think that you're, again, a lot of the points you make are 100% accurate, and I'm not arguing with you about any of that. I was just very interested myself in, one of the things I was interested is why everybody seems to go after Pearl. You guys have a pretty decent explanation for that. I don't have a problem with Pearl.
Me neither.
I've actually met Pearl. So,
Rollo doesn't know why I'm friends with Pearl, but
Rollo seems to have. Look, hey, and there's some people I don't like. There are people I just don't like.
Yeah, Rollo doesn't like PWF, and I go on his show all the time. Rollo is not a fan of William Costello, and I'm friends with him. And Rollo doesn't like Destiny at all, and me and Destiny are cool. So yeah, I mean, it's just this is a part of conservatism, and this is a part of masculinity.
Sure.
If I am a stockbroker. Yeah, if I'm a stockbroker and you're a farmer, even though I don't make my money or raise my family the way you do, I still respect the fact that you raise your family the way you protect your family, you provide for your family, even though we do it a different way. You're the farmer and you see me as the stockbroker, you can still respect that I raise my kids, even though it might be different from the way you do. You still respect the fact that I take care of my family and I raise them and protect them and provide for them. Yeah, conservative, absolutely. Masculine men can observe each other, be different, and still respect one another. I can respect a Muslim man, even though I'm Christian, for protecting and providing for his family. I can do so. He doesn't have to, because the opposite of that is what's called groupthink. Progressive groupthink. We must all do the same thing. You and your children and all your family members must view LBGT communities in the proper context. And if you don't view them in the proper context, you must be deplatformed. That's what groupthink is. I cannot accept opposing viewpoints. Whereas for me, if I see another man and he's honest, he's loyal, you know what I'm saying? He's a benefit to his community, I can still respect him even though I don't do the same things that he does. Hey guys, I got to run.
Oh, Michael, can I just say this one quick thing? Although you're right in regards to what you said, but when it comes to Pearl, or when it comes to any what I would consider charlatans in this space, you see, the problem is, I'm not saying Pearl's a perfectly lovely person as a person, but I consider her a charlatan in this space as a person who is trying to make money out of some other people's efforts. She stands on the shoulders of greater people, and she just simply grifts off it. And for that reason, I see her as somewhat of a negative, damaging thought, sort of a person of because she's essentially a what we call it. We try to you guys are like intellectuals in this space, and I think she tarnishes that a little bit, tarnishes that space, and for that reason, it's not that you should break ties and totally, but to somewhat distance yourself from her, if you like, in the sense of in this space and the thought sort of minds that are in this space. it might be, I don't know, is it not prudent, or is it not actually logical or reasonable to say, look, she's a lovely person, I'm personally friends with her, but I don't respect her when she talks about this sort of stuff?
I mean, if she says something that's factually accurate, I don't really care. Like, again, it's the guy who didn't play sports, but he's a great sports announcer. You know what I'm saying? I don't have that big of a problem with it. You know, I can Pat McAfee played punter, but I don't care if he wants to talk about a quarterback. I don't have a big problem with it if he says something that's accurate. So the thing with Pearl is, you know, it's in the eye of the beholder whether or not she's a grifter. I think she actually has helped a lot of people with their channels. But you know, Rollo and I are just going to disagree on that whole situation. But again, I don't go to her for advice. She's not the first place I'm going to go. It's like, hey, how do I solve this problem for advice? If if my problem is going viral, I might hit up Pearl, but I'm not going to hit up Pearl for like, hey, what do I do on this date with this girl? Like, that's not what I'm going to hit up Pearl for. Sound good? All right, gentlemen, I got to run.
It's been a pleasure,
thank
sir.
you guys for checking us out. Hey guys, if you want to check out my YouTube channel, I'm Michael Sartain, and come on and check out Access Vegas. We do it every other Thursday. We have 12 girls come on the show, and then we watch viral videos, and we just spread more of our red pill misinformation. Check us out, guys. Take care.
All right, see ya.
Later, Mike. Thanks for coming.
I'm glad I got to talk to that guy when I was in Vegas
last this year. Live, man. So I just want to thank y'all for coming through. Yeah, man, I appreciate y'all for coming through, man. I'm about to kill this joint now, man. Let me just get y'all last words, man.
It looks like B hasn't said anything. B?
No, I be listening. You know, I sit back. I have a lot of different views on a lot of things, but you know, bro, I appreciate you for bringing me, Rush. I just got off work and was chilling with my boy. But no, yeah, I got into some personal conversation. That's why I kind of just got quieter. I was like, I know what y'all talking about, but it was still like, yeah.
Well, I'm just going to get out of here. Rush. Oh, sorry. Thank you so much, Rush. Thanks, CT, for letting us in. Everyone in the chat, make sure you hit that like button on your way out and subscribe if you're not. I don't know why you're not subscribed. And yeah, it's been awesome, guys. And Grid One, pleasure as always. I'll catch you on CTs.
Absolutely. I'm glad I got a chance to talk to Mike. I'm sorry, man. I interrupted you.
No. I was just going to say, yeah, thank you, guys. I'm going to get out of here. But yeah, Rollo and Mike, that was brilliant access. I would dream of getting, being able to talk to these guys. It's, I'll follow their work, but to get to talk to them, Rush, you're the man. You are the man to get those guys on this show. I don't care how many times you go to McDonald's and you run this show from your McDonald's. This is a great show. You did yourself. Wow. I'm sorry. It's just that background looks like my local McDonald's. I don't know why.
That's crazy work, bro.
Anyway, thank you, guys. Peace out. Take care.
Peace out, guys.
So anyway, I'm glad I finally got a chance to talk to Mike. Mike, I was supposed to. I had a friend of mine trying to make the connection while I was in Vegas last year, and it just didn't work out, the timing and everything. So it's good to finally talk to Mike and Rollo as well. But yeah, I'm not, look, I'm not a red pill guy. I think, but I do believe that the red pill descriptors they're pretty good, and young men and men of all ages, if you are having trouble in life, you should check them out. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
All right. I thought you said you were about to kill it. You got everybody coming back on now.
That pitted troon runs from me like a black runs from a job application.
Whoa.
Run for you. You didn't come up because you don't.
No, he wouldn't let me up because I do to him what I did to Wilson and face fuck him and end his career. Fuck Wilson and fuck that hat you're wearing, you piece of shit. Why don't you go? Let's replay. Let's replay what I did to that fat fuck Wilson and why he so runs from me now. I face fucked him. And I cummed on his daughter's face. Fuck that little bitch. That little bitch is nothing. There's a reason why I literally ended his career. Why don't you go ask him again if a fully autoed FFL 03 can be mailed through a CNR? Why don't you ask him, Grid, and get that fat fuck to
pure comedy. He was in the chat. I don't read the chat. That's the guy that was in the chat going on.
Yeah. He never cams up. So, so the rule was today. Apparently, I didn't know this. I always cam up, but the rule today apparently was you can't come up unless you cam up.
Yeah.
And he never cams up. So
yeah, it seems very.
It would have been cool to see him live spurging against those guys. That would have been cool, but.
Russ, you said y'all was talking about politics, but y'all talked about a lot. Y'all was on a whole nother vibe.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything.
I came in late to the party. I'm actually just setting up my show, so I was just like, "Fuck it, I'll come on."
Yeah, I didn't hear too much on the dynamics of politics. They kept mentioning black pill, red pill,
right?
And, so it was kind of all over the place for me. And that type of I mean, I guess they're probably good at what they do. Seems to be I guess stars in their own right or whatever. And
well, Rollo has written a bunch of books, most of them about male self-improvement and self-image. He wrote a book. He wrote a pretty well-known book called The Rational Male. And
have you read it?
I did. I read the first one. I haven't read the follow-up books just because.
Can you give me just a general synopsis of what the? Can you just give me a basic synopsis of some of the key points in the book that you?
I mean, it basically defines the principles of being a stoic, masculine man, and what that really entails, right? Honesty. Be a man of your word, right? Put food on the table. You need to be a provider. It's just a bunch of tenets. There's also, and part of the book is about mating strategy, and not mating strategy. That's not really the right word. Like in interpersonal relationships, and the dynamics and what men should look for in women and what they should absolutely reject, and talking about how this evolutionary psychology from an evolutionary psychology standpoint, how modern women view men and how you need to be able to navigate that. And I'm not going to say that it's accurate because no book. I don't care how good it is going to be able to tell you how people think.
Right. Yeah. I've never read a book on. I've never read a book or would even read a book on male improvement. I've been around strong men all my life. My father was a strong man. Me and my mother married till they took the last breath. My grandfather and grandmother. So I would read. I was shown and it was demonstrated to me by strong men on how to be a man. I think that's something for the millennial generations and generations.
It's not just about the strong male. It's about how women have changed and how we live now in a gynocentric. My buddy just provided me with that word I was searching for. Gynocentric social order, right? And he's the one that coined that phrase, which probably you've heard repeated many, many times, that feminism is in the air we breathe, the water we swim. It's literally the dirt under our feet now because it's in every aspect of our lives. Feminism colors everything, and it just does. And there's no way around it. So, and he, obviously, other people have said the same things he's said, and some people have even said it better. But he did a pretty good.
But that's the evolution. The whole dynamic of what feminism is today, in its definition, and its characteristics, and how you see it as a woman functions into modern society is the evolution of itself. So what will work for one man based on his male innately in his own male characteristics and understanding what it means to be a man, protector, provider, and the first one on the front line.
No, I get that, right? And I'm training my 14-year-old son, and he's been around, strong masculine men his whole life. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't have to interface with a bunch of feminists every single day of his life.
Yeah, definitely. Let me ask you this question: Do you think or feel that we agree that the concept of feminism
But where'd he go? What happened?
Yeah, man.
You gotta go?
Yeah, I'm about to kill it live right now. So
yeah, it's cool.
I'll catch y'all later.
Okay. All right. You got a message from Chaotic, huh?
Yeah. Hey, man. If you want to do this, I go live at 8:00. So
8:00 West Coast.
You can come on my channel, man. It's An Unreasonable Man, and I go live at 8:00.
Okay, I'll check you out.
All right, man. Cool.
All right, now, later.
Yo, seek wisdom, practice humility, and remain sucker free. I'm out, y'all. Y'all be good. One.